Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Nana Brajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Sri Sri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Nityalila Vishwam Prabhupada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gauri Vaishnavrinda Ki Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki, Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigo, Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhana ki, Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham ki, Sri Navadip Maya Vradham ki, Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Gangamai Jamunamai ki, Srimati Brindadevi Tulsi Maharani ki, Srimati Bhakti Devi ki, Sri Harinam Sankirtana ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Sri Krishna Baldao ki, Tai Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Bhaktivedanta Swamini Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vichayani Visesa Sunniva Esatani. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Fourth chapter, text number 30. This fourth chapter is such a nice chapter. So many of our favorite verses there, including in a few verses we'll hear one of the most important verses in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, because he's explaining everything, but he finally says, Tadvidi pranipatena, pariprasnena sevai upadekshini jnanam, jnaninas tattva darshana. That if you actually want to know the truth, then you have to approach a wise and bona fide spiritual master. And pariprasnena, ask questions. Get complete. Prabhupada said we don't want blind followers. We want independently thoughtful men. So ask questions. Pariprasnena. And then you have to realize the knowledge, then you have to do seva. Pariprasnena, seva. Just like one time, the Vice Chancellor of Benares Hindu University, very famous university in Kashi, he came to visit Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So you would think such an important personality has come that he would be attended to immediately. Bhaktisiddhanta said, I'm busy right now, you just sit for a minute. Underneath the tree, the boys are polishing the brass, you sit there and I will attend you in a while. So after some time he again came, he said, I still have some things to do, you sit there. So he was sitting there, nothing to do, so he saw the boys also began to polish the brass. Then Bhaktisiddhanta sent for him to come. And he said, what is your questions? I have no more questions. Just by doing seva, then automatically the understanding comes. So this is, the circle is complete. Questions and we render service, and the circle is complete. There's so many wonderful verses here, including a very special verse that describes that everything becomes spiritualized. The one who's performing the sacrifice itself, the things sacrificed, everything becomes one. So in Krishna consciousness we have the powerful mystic power. People like to see yogis do some tricks. But our trick is that we can change matter into spirit. Because everything dovetailed for Krishna's service, it becomes spiritualized. Just like in the old days in America, we didn't have big opulent temples. We just found some house in the low rent district and rented it and painted it funny colors and put a sign outside, Radha Krishna temple. So it was like any house up and down the street, but people would come inside and they would feel something different this year. Something different is here. The wood, the cement, the tiles, everything in this house was dovetailed for the service of Krishna. It was totally spiritualized. So we have the most powerful mystic power. We can change matter into spirit. Just like I was president of Portland Temple in northwest corner of America, and one godbrother came to assist me, and he was married. His wife's grandmother lived there in Portland. Because we used to joke that Portland is a place where old folks go to visit their parents. We go door to door on Sankirtan. Oh, you meet his old people and they cry that on the Social Security, I'm hardly able to get by. I can't buy your books. You know, sometimes we have to eat dog food because we can't afford anything. So anyway, so she was staying with her grandmother, and they made a little altar in her living room, and they used to oft. And her grandmother wasn't a particularly religious person. She was an atheist, but she was just an ordinary American person, didn't care one way that is God or not God. And they always used to share their prasadam with her. And one time they came home, and Granny was on the phone, and she was saying, and you know, Mabel, food even tastes better when it's offered to Krishna. So even this ordinary American lady, she could understand that this food has got something special about this food. So anyway, all our favorite verses are here in this 4th chapter. So very interesting verse. Sarvepi ete yajña-vido yajña-kṣapita-kalmaṣāḥ yajña-śiṣṭāmṛta-bhujo yānti brahma sanātanam. Sarve piyeti yajña-vido yajña-śiṣṭāmṛta-kalmaṣāḥ yajña-śiṣṭāmṛta-bhujo yānti brahma sanātanam. Sarve piyeti yajña-vido yajña-śiṣṭāmṛta-kalmaṣāḥ yajña-śiṣṭāmṛta-bhujo yānti brahma sanātanam. Sarve piyeti yajña-vido yajña-kṣapita-kalmaṣāḥ yajña-śiṣṭāmṛta-bhujo yānti brahma sanātanam. Sarve yajña-vido yajña-kṣapita. Śiṣṭāmṛta-bhujo Ladies? Sarve, all. api, although apparently different, ete, these, yajña-vidaḥ, conversant with the purpose of performing sacrifices. Yajña-kṣapita, being created as results of such performances. Kalmaṣāḥ, of sinful reactions. Yajña-śiṣṭa, are the result of such performances of yajna. Amṛta-bhujaḥ, those who have tasted such nectar. Yānti, do approach. Brahma, the supreme. Sanātanam, eternal atmosphere. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifice, they advance toward the supreme eternal. Translation, please repeat. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifices, they advance toward the supreme eternal atmosphere. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. From the foregoing explanation of different types of sacrifices, namely sacrifice of one's possessions, study of the Vedas or philosophical doctrines, or performance of the yoga system, it is found that the common aim of all is to control the senses. Sense gratification is the root cause of material existence. Therefore, unless and until one is situated on a platform apart from sense gratification, there is no chance of being elevated to the eternal platform of full knowledge, full bliss, and full life. This platform is the eternal atmosphere, or Brahman atmosphere. All the above-mentioned sacrifices help one to become cleansed of the sinful reactions of material existence. By this advancement in life, not only does one become happy and opulent in this life, but also at the end, he enters into the eternal kingdom of God, either merging into the or associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Sarve te yajña-vido yajña-kṣapita-kalmaṣāḥ yajña-śiṣṭāmṛta-bhujo yānti brahma sanātanam. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifice, they advance toward the supreme eternal atmosphere. Om ajñāna-timirandasya jnananjana-shalakaya chaksurunmilitam jena tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya-manobhistam sthapitam jena bhutale sayam rupa kadamaya didati svapadantakam adadanastrинанданtai ridam yache puna puna srimad rupa padambujo dulisyam janma janmanim. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindhuvevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So in this particular section of 4th chapter, Krishna has described sacrifices, of sacrificing one's material possessions, of sacrifice of studying the Vedas, sacrifice of the yoga system, But the common thread in all of them, Prabhupada points out here, is to control the senses. Because unless the senses are controlled, we cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. As Prabhupada points out here, sense gratification is the root cause. As long as we addicted to trying to satisfy our material senses, then we're bound up to this material nature. We'll never understand spiritual knowledge. But all these, it says, they all who perform these different sacrifices, they all become purified by their different types of sacrifices. But the aim is sense control. Just like when I was a little boy, the image of a yogi was somebody sitting on a lotus position on a bed of nails. Later we saw pictures of yogis with long matted hair sitting in the forest in lotus position. But in the modern age, the symbol of yoga is a young girl in tight clothes performing yoga asanas. And the advertisement is that you can improve your health, you can improve your material enjoyment. They're advertising that you increase your sense enjoyment by practicing yoga. This is total farce. But this has become the emblem of a yoga practice in the modern age. If there's some advertisement or some yoga system, there's always some young, attractive girl in tight clothes performing asanas. But unless we become free from sense gratification, there's no question of entering into spiritual life. Because as long as we're addicted to sense gratification, then we cannot make any advancement. Just like the other day, somebody was giving the story. I can't remember if it was Bhagavatam class or Gita class. Somebody was giving the story about the wedding party. They got in a boat in the nighttime because they had to go far upstream to get to the bride's village. So they were rowing all night long. In the morning, they found they hadn't moved. And everybody was surprised. And they saw that the foolish captain, he didn't pull up the anchor. So although they were working and doing everything, anchor was still there. So as long as we're anchored in sense gratification, and maybe go through the motions of performing these different sacrifices, but unless we pull up that anchor of sense gratification, and very, very difficult. Just like Bhakti Vinod has a very beautiful song. Yarite hari parasarojasudam rasapanaparam hridayam satatam parivritya griham kalibhavamayam brajagodruma kanana kunjabidum. Brajagodruma kanana kunjabidum. Kanana means forest. And what beautiful forest is there in Mayapur? We see on Godrum. And in that forest, there's a beautiful golden moon. Brajagodruma kanana kunja bidum. Bidum means another name for moon. We know Chandra, but Indu and Bidum, these are other names. So just worship that golden moon of the forest of the kunjas of Godrum. And he says, if you want to, just like here is talking about tasting nectar, Yadite haripada saroja sudam, that nectar from the haripad, from the lotus feet of the Lord, rasapanaparam. If you want to not just taste, but here he says relish. If you want to relish that, hridayam satatam, then pariritya griham kalibhavamayam. Give up that household or life that is full of kalibhav. Now it's interesting to note, because there's a difference here, and if you know English grammar, if he said, give up that grihastha life that is, which is full of kalibhav, then he's saying that grihastha life is full of kalibhav. But it doesn't say that. He said, that is, give up that particular griha, parivritya griham, kalibhavamayam. Get up that household or life that is full of kalibhav. That one. Otherwise, just like here we see the children all have tilak. The husband and wife are walking with the children. Everybody's dressed in nice sari and dhoti and kurta and tilak, kantimala. I've seen other acharyas, they come here, they're amazed. They say, we can't even get our disciples, 2 minutes after the initiation ceremony, they wipe off the tilak. They're simply amazed at the society of devotees that Prabhupada has created here. They're amazed. So if your householder life is not full of Kali Bhav, then you don't have to give it up. Janajovana jivana raja sukham nai nityam anukshana nashaparam. What is it? Jajagramya kata sakalam vipalam bhaja godrumakanana kunja vidum. Jovana, youth. Dana Jovana Jivana, long life. Rajasukham, happiness of a king. Nahi nityam, they're not eternal. Anukshana, at every second, nashapram, they're slipping between our hands. They're slipping between our fingers. Jaja Gramya Kata Sakalam, and all this Gramya Kata. Everybody's talking about cricket, about war of Ukraine and Russia. All this Gramya Kata Sakalam Bifalam. Prabhupada said, this world is going on, your business is to, it is going to go on the way it's going to go on. Nothing you can do about it. You just prosecute your Krishna consciousness. Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunjan Nigam. Ramani Jana Sangha Sukham Chasakena Charame Bayadam Purusharta Haram Harin Sudara Samatamati Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunjaminum. Brahmani Jana Sangha, oh my friend, that happiness in the company of young girls. Brahmani Jana Sangha Sukham Chasake. That very nice, but charame bayadam. In the end, it is very fearful, and it steals away purushart. All the goal of your life will be lost. So what are we going to do? We're all trapped by this. So he gives the solution. Harinama Sudha Rasamatamatir Pajagodrumakanana Kunjabidum. So especially in this dark age of Kali, the best sacrifice is the sacrifice of chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. We're all bound tightly by this rope of sense gratification. But he gives us some hope. Harinama Sudha, that nectar of the Harinam. Matamatir, you just become absorbed. You become absorbed in that automatically. Automatically you become detached from all these things. It's like we're not after ordinary detachment. I was quoting this verse that Krishna says, by abhyas and by vairagya. So somebody says, yes, by vairagya, then automatically we become attached to Krishna. No, it's the other way around. By becoming attached to Krishna, automatically we renounce the lower taste. Just like if somebody is picking through the garbage, then you come and you offer nice Simply Wonderfuls or gulab jamun, sweet rice. You don't have to argue with so much philosophy with them. Immediately they'll taste, oh yes, immediately, this is much better. We'll take this instead. So by becoming attached to Krishna, by chanting the holy name, this is a special dispensation for this dark age of Kali that is given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has appeared in this dark age of Kali. Manda sumanda matayo. Manda, they're all lazy. Nobody wants to perform any type of spiritual thing. No, man, we're busy. Manda, unfortunate. Manda sumanda matayo manda bhagi. Very unfortunate. We see no one is anxious to perform spiritual life. Let us enjoy. Just like Prahlad's classmates, oh no, now we're children, let us enjoy. Later we'll do. And they tell us that, no, let us enjoy everything. Then at the end we'll take up Krishna consciousness. But we see that by the time one gets to the end of, because there's no end to material enjoyment, it just goes on and on and on. Even our Akbar, he asked Birbal, when does this sex desire ever end? And Birbal said, oh, this is up to the time of death. He said, no, Birbal, you're wrong. He said, I will show you. So one day Birbal came, and he said, he told Akbar, you come with me, you bring your daughter with you. And they went to the house. One man was dying. He's on his deathbed. He said, let your daughter go first, and you watch his face. So as soon as the young girl walked in, he was perking up his head. He's on the deathbed. Then Birbal, yes. So there's no end to material enjoyment. It's a trap. Let me enjoy now, then later I'll renounce it all. But you can't. It gets stuck in your system unless you start training. Prahlad tells his friends, now that you're young, you begin your Krishna consciousness. So this is a great opportunity that Prabhupada has given. No matter what, maybe we came late. Some people say, I've started my Krishna consciousness very late. Doesn't matter. Prabhupada said, better late than never. Because we just read, even, I think that's in this 4th chapter, tiny advancement on this path saves one from the most dangerous type of fear. If one is engaged in a little bit of Krishna service, he will not go down in the evolutionary cycle. Again, at least he'll get human form of life to again start. Everything we do in Krishna consciousness goes into our spiritual bank account. Nothing is lost. Whatever we gain in this material world, we may have so many, now billions, we used to talk about millions, now everybody, but it will not go with you. It will remain. It will remain here. But whatever advancement we make in spiritual life, that is eternal. That goes into our spiritual bank account. Just like when I was a young devotee, we used to do one skit, one little play. In English we call it skit, a little tiny play. We call it the wrong bank account. One guy was going all the time, and he was very carefully, he'd go to the bank, he'd fill out the form, and he'd deposit his money. He'd think, oh, in the end, I will enjoy so nicely. So finally, he began to have so many health problems. So he said, let me go to the bank before it's too late and get all that money and enjoy before it's too late. And he went to the bank, and he found out his balance was zero, putting it in the wrong bank account. He made one, in the account number, he made one number wrong. So he was depositing in somebody else's account. He had nothing. So it's like that. We're putting all our energy into the wrong bank account. And in the end, it will be zero. It will be zero. But if we put our energy into Krishna consciousness, even a little bit, it says Svapamapi, just a little bit, and you perform some Krishna consciousness, you can save you from the most greatest fear, gliding back down into the evolutionary cycle of birth and death. We see the animals, how miserable their lives. It's like sometimes I go on YouTube, and so it's always there's some film about in the African jungle, the lion is jumping on the buffalo, and buffalo is crying, and lion is just chewing at his neck. Horrible. This horrible existence. Just imagine, this is horrible existence. The animal life is so terrible. Prabhupada says that is your biggest problem. You're not afraid enough of Maya. As I saw, in my cat, and that cat used to catch the mouse and chew it a bit, and then all of a sudden let it go. And then it would start to run again, boom, and again jump on it. And then bite it on the neck, and then let it go. And then it would start to run and jump on it again. such miserable, this material world. Maya is so terrible. We're not we don't realize it. We have to become very afraid of Maya. This is our problem with the modern age. We're not afraid enough of Maya. This material world is a nasty place. It's like going to the bathroom. Bhaktisiddhanta gave this example. The bathroom, you just want to, you would just want to go there, finish your business, and get out. Of course, I've seen in America, they have everything nice, fluffy pink, fluffy things all around everything, and mirrors everywhere. You can see your lovely body. Because it's meant, material life, everything is meant to convince you're your body. So the whole bathroom is nothing, wall-to-wall mirrors. Who wants to sit on the toilet in front of a mirror, and everything's nice and fluffy and pink, and the magazine rack is there. They like to sit there. But actually, we just want to finish our business and get out. So this human form of life is like that. Just finish up the business and get out. So Prabhupada has given us this such a nice process of Krishna consciousness. Nice. It's hardly, here we're talking about sacrifice, hardly a sacrifice. Just like when I first ran into devotees, I heard their regular principles. I was shocked. He said, how can you follow that, you know? How can you follow such a thing? Anyway, next day was Krishna Janmashtami. So they made this huge feast, and we didn't know you're supposed to have a falahar prasad at midnight. We used to have full-on puri and sweet rice and paneer sabji and everything right at the midnight. I don't know how we managed to survive that, but anyway. And I was amazed because I was helping in the kitchen, because I was a cook, a bit of a cook myself. So I was intrigued that they had told me tomorrow we're going to fast all day. So, that's good. Fasting is very good for the body. And I said, after the fast, we'll have a vegetarian feast. I was already vegetarian. Young people those times, by fashion, they became vegetarians. And they said, 25-course Indian preparations. I said, Indian cooking? Wow, that must be interesting. So I was really up for it the next day. And we didn't have so many rules and regulations, so I was helping in the kitchen. I wasn't cooking, but I was watching. And first of all, they had this pure golden liquid called ghee. I had never heard of ghee in my life, you know. And they put it in this strange pot shaped like this, you know. Wok, karai, all right. We call it wok. I guess that's a Chinese name for it. And then they rolled out this dough into these little flat as a piece of paper. And they dropped them in that hot ghee. Boom! It blew up like a balloon. I said, oh, this is jadoo. Yadu rasoi. This is magic cooking. So anyway, they made this whole feast. And they made for a whole bunch of people. Everybody promised they would come, but they were staying. They didn't even have a temple at that time. They were just staying with some young people who had rented a house outside of Boulder, Colorado. I was in the city of Boulder, Colorado, but they were outside several miles. So young people, those days, we had nothing. We didn't have cars or things like that, so hardly anybody came. There was just the 5 devotees, myself, my friend Sunshine, who later became Srivas, and the 4 people who were renting the house. That was all that was there. And they had made this huge feast. And Bhavananda was saying, you have to take more. Spiritual food, we can't waste it. And I had never seen anything like paneer sabji and puris and sweet rice and halava. And then Bhavananda, he picked up this little brown thing. He said, you know what this is? This is a gulab jamun. You know how to eat it? And I said, nope. And he took that gulab jamun and he popped the whole thing in his mouth. And I said, all right, if he can do it, I can do it. So I took my gulab jamun, and in those days, the rule was it had to soak for 3 days before you offered it to Krishna. So they were very high-powered gulab jamuns. So I threw this gulab jamun in my mouth, and I thought I made it to the Golok Dham. Because Bhavananda was preaching to me, that in the mature world, everything gets dull, Just like when I was a little child, we had this advertisement on the television, smoking more, enjoying less, smoking more, enjoying less, come up to cool. And Prabhupada said, it's fire, and they're saying, cool. So he said, but in the spiritual world, color is always heightening. And he would go like that, and I would go, ah. And he would go, sound is always heightening. Touch is always heightening. Smell is always heightening. Taste is always heightening. It never ends, And I put this gulab jamun, I thought it was never going to end. I said, well, I made it. I said, they keep feeding me like this, I'll forget about these 4 regular principles. So somehow they keep feeding me this food, and I'm still here. Prabhupada has given such a wonderful, the sacrifice of Krishna consciousness is so sweet and so easy. Krishna says it is joyfully, what is it? Joyfully performed. It is very joyfully performed. It is not just, we're talking about sacrifice, but this sacrifice is very joyfully performed. Prabhupada said that once one gets a taste, the spiritual taste, then it will help him to easily attain the sanātanam. Prabhupada said either merging into the impersonal Brahman or associating directly with the Supreme Personality of God of Krishna. Of course, we know that the real ultimate goal is to associate with Krishna. It's all through Bhagavad. Krishna explains so many things, always at the end of the chapter. It's like he gives the yoga system. Yoginam api sarve sam, all the yogis. It's like this word sarve is here. Sarve. Yoginam api sarve sam, magate nantaratmana, sradavan bhajate yomam. Those who with faith are worshipping me, sami yuktatabo, they're the best of the yogis. The Krishna describes a whole dry yoga system, and then at the end he says, but who just worship me with faith. And you'll be the most intimately united me in yoga. Yoga means to link. Nowadays we have the idea yoga means to twist yourself up like a pretzel, but yoga actually means to link. Yukt. So everywhere, bhaktya mama janati. Krishna always comes to the point just by practicing bhakti yoga. You can know me as I am. Not possible to know Krishna as I am. He even says, even the sages and demigods are bewildered. Because after all, we're finite, and Krishna is infinite. So how will a finite being understand the infinite? It's not possible. So we're just wasting our time here. We'll never understand Krishna. And we might as well give up. No, Krishna says, the dadami buddhi yogam tam, those who worship me with love, I give them, dadami, I give them. If the infinite wants to reveal himself to the finite being, who's there to stop? He's infinite. Just like the, what do you call them? People who say, not atheists, but what's the other one? There may be God, not God, we don't know. Since COVID, my brain is, I can't remember silly things like, anyway, I can't remember what you call these type of people. But God is unlimited. If he wants to reveal himself to the finite, he can do it. It's infinite. He can do that. And where does he do that? Those who worship me with love. Dadami buddhi, I give them. So this is how we can have to worship with love and devotion. Then Krishna will reveal himself. Even though he's unknowable by the great sages and demigods, just by this simple process of worshiping him with love, Krishna reveals himself. And so we're not wasting our time. We're very nicely engaged in Krishna's service. Very joyfully engaged in Krishna's service. And now we're in the season, all the wonderful festivals are coming. Balaram's Appearance Day and Haryali Tej is coming a couple of weeks. And all the wonderful Jamastami, Radhastami, all the wonderful festivals are coming. A very joyful time of year. And weather has changed very nicely. So today is Dwadasi. So I was thinking of one of my favorite pastimes for Ekadasi and Dwadasi. How many people have been to Bahulavan? Anybody been to Bahulavan? Oh, very few people. It's not far away. It's one of the closest for us. Of course, we're already in Vrindavan, but of the 12 forests, it's very, very close, closer even than Madhuvan. You go over when you're going to Radhak, when you go over the bridge, then you make a U-turn and come back, and you catch this little road, and you go out into the fields, and eventually you come to Bahulavan. And Bahulavan is named after a cow named Bahula. And there's interesting history behind this. There was one time, the demigods were enjoying some performance. Their names were Huhu and Haha. It's written in the scripture. Their names were Huhu and Haha. So they were performing for the demigods. And not Pulasta, that's Govardhan Lila. Parasar Rishi and Nard Muni entered. And all the demigods stood up, and gave them welcome, except for Huhu and Haha. So Parasar Rishi became very angry. He said, Are? You don't have any culture? Everybody stood up and honored us. You didn't give us any honor. You're just like an animal. Therefore, you should go to the earth and become an animal. And Huhu said, wait a minute. You're a very powerful yogi. You sit down in meditation. You're Trikalagya. You can see past, present. You go in the past and see we were doing our performance. So within our hearts, we paid our sastang pranams, dandavats. So he sat down, he went into the past, and he saw that they'd performed their sastang pranams within their heart. He said, oh my goodness. So I will also go to the earth. This Nardmuni didn't stop me. He will go to the earth. She was seeing all this. She will also go. So there was this cow named Bahula who lived in Bahulavan. And she was very, very big and pregnant. And Ekadasi day came, and she decided, she's a very pious cow, she decided to do nirjal. We don't recommend this for the pregnant ladies especially. But anyway, she was a very special cow, so she was doing nirjal. And she did nirjal whole Ekadasi, day and night, didn't take even a drop of water. Early in the Dwadasi morning, she gave birth to her calf. Now, whole day and night, she didn't drink of water, she didn't take any sleep. Now she just went through the trauma of childbirth. She was so thirsty. She was so thirsty, without even giving her first milk to her calf, she went off to look for water. Because that first milk that comes from the cow, that is not meant for human consumption. Even the commercial dairies who want to squeeze out every rupee they can make, they know they can't sell that milk to consumption. It's called cholesterol. It's filled with so many minerals and vitamins and probiotics. We make antibiotics, antibios, against life. But Krishna makes probiotics for life, for the calf. The calf will become very strong and healthy. So she neglected her calf and went off looking for water. So she came to the water hole. Now, if you've watched the Discovery Channel, you know that the predators, they always hang out just near the water hole because they know some animal will come to drink water, they'll jump out of the bushes and capture them. So she was drinking the water and this lion jumped out. And she bowed down before that lion and said, oh, please, just give me 1 minute, let me go and feed my calf my first milk, and then I promise I'll come back. I promise I will come back. So although we know lions are very ferocious, somehow they're also very noble. So he said, all right, you go feed your calf. Meanwhile, I'll do my Facebook. So she went to her calf and she began to feed her milk to the calf. And she was crying, and the calf said, Mata, Mata, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Because since last time I was, why is that? And then she told the whole story. He said, no, no, how can my Mata die before me? My Mata who gave me life, how can she die? I will go, let the lion eat me. He said, no, no, I've already lived so much of my life. You have your whole life in front of you. I will go. No, 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 no. How can you die before my very eyes? I will go. You stay. Then the cowherd boy came. He saw the calf and his cow were arguing. And then he understood the argument. He said, no, no, my cow has given me milk and maintained me my whole life. How can't I see my cow die? I will go, let the lion eat me. No, 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 let the lion eat me. No, 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 let the lion eat me. We can just imagine, previously to Kali Yuga, people had such character. Now, if there's some way we can get out of something, and you have to go, all right, you go. Bachkai. But they were all arguing like that. So finally, all three of them went to the lion. The lion, he was waiting, he was expecting one person, and three people came. And they're all arguing. You eat me. No, 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 don't eat me. Don't eat her, eat me. No, 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 don't eat my cow, you eat me. And he was totally bewildered. And suddenly, Lord Krishna appeared on the scene. He played on his flute, and everybody realized their previous life. That lion was none other than Haha. The cowherd boy was Parsa Rishi. The calf was Nard Muni. And the cow was the earth. Everybody realized their previous identity. So if you go there to Bahulavan, you'll see there's a little kund, and there's some steps on the far side. You go to the steps, underneath, there's a little shrine, and you can see there's a big plaque there, marble plaque, and the carving is there, Krishna playing his flute, and the lion is a hoo-hoo, and the calf is there, cowherd boy is there, everyone's there, and Krishna is playing on his flute. Then everybody asked what happened to, that was Haha, so what happened to hoo-hoo? In one of his purports in the story of Gajendra Moksha, Prabhupada points out that hoo-hoo became the crocodile in Gajendra Moksha. So anyway, we'll put our voice to rest here. We have a couple of minutes if anybody has any questions they'd like to ask. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How you can realize that although Harinam is very sweet and strong, but how you can realize that he the gulab jamun, that's why he got the taste immediately.
Chant the Hare Krishna mantra is so sweet. It's like all day long we're listening to this Hare Krishna mantra. So sweet. It takes some practice. Just like if you have jaundice, then sweets taste very bitter. You don't like. But the cure is you take sugar candy, misri. You take misri and gradually you'll realize that it's sweet. So now we're in jaundice condition. This Harinam, 16 rounds, how am I going to do? Oh my God. But you go on practicing it just like that is the verse. Because the problem is in Kali Yuga, or especially in this internet age, we're all expecting that we just click on some link, bing, and then everything. Automatically I'll become attached to the holy name, bing, and there's no link. You have to do the work. Now we became lazy. Can I just click on the link, I'll become humble, click on the link, I'll become full of faith, click on the link, I'll become detached. Nope, no link. You have to do the work. You have to chant. And you have to pray. Just like Prabhu always say, just pray for the mercy of the holy name. Even Lord Chaitanya says, fortunately I have no attraction. He's taking our position. So we have to beg borrowers to somehow get the mercy of that holy name. And just go on practicing and practicing. It'll become sweet. It's like I remember the first time, because when I joined, there was no such thing as Mangalartik. Maybe the pujaris woke up the Lord and did some Mangalartik, but there was no Mangalartik. We used to stay out till 12 o'clock. Weekends we stay out to 1 or 2, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, chanting on the street, on Hollywood Boulevard. And we used to get up around 6 or so. There was no such thing as Mangalartik. Then Prabhupada introduced Mangalartik. Oh, that was really tough. But then gradually, by practice, now if we miss Mangalarti, whole day is so just by practice. So if there are no other questions, we'll fall down to the very soft and wonderful lotus feet of that great person who's absorbed us in this chanting of the holy name. Srila Prabhupada ki